let's move to our next presentation by Nilesh Kulkarni, who is the head for pre-sales India with Qlik. To give you a background, he's a dynamic pre-sales team responsible for providing innovative solutions to enterprise across multiple industry verticals. A seasoned data and analytics professional with strong technical expertise, he is instrumental in helping India's most important brand leads with data. With over 17 years of experience in data and analytics, including over a decade with Qlik, his strength lies in bridging the gap between the requirement of the business and technology teams. Prior to joining Qlik, Nilesh worked as a senior consultant at Satyam Computers, Lehman Brothers, and Wipro. Can we welcome Nilesh with a big round of applause, please?
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. So what I'm going to talk about in the next 20 minutes is how Qlik can help you driving up the value of analytics with our active intelligence platform. Some of you here might be Qlik customers, existing Qlik customers. Some of you probably have heard about Qlik. Some of you probably would be new to Qlik. So I'll try to address each one of you, how we can help each one of you in your organizational data and analytics journey. Most of you would know Qlik as a BI or analytics company, but we've actually grown up in last 2 to 3 years. We've also built up quite a lot of strength on the data analytics, data integration side of the things as well. So I would also like to talk about how we can help in your modernizing your data integration as well as data analytics journey going forward. So what I would like to start by talking about, obviously something which everyone knows about, data can change the world. Right? You would have heard multiple times that data is new oil, data is uranium, all of those things. However cliche it may sound, it is really true, because data is really the gold mine of your organizations. And in one of the first sessions, you would have heard from Mr. 𝗏𝗏 in terms of how data is actually changing the world in the insurance vertical, right? And that's true for all the other verticals as well. So what I'm going to talk about is how we can help you as an organization in changing your world in your organizations with some of our solutions. What I would like to do by first talking about one of the survey that we jointly did along with IDC and results of one of the Gartner survey. A lot of organizations are investing millions or billions of dollars in the softwares which are around data and analytics. But what are they getting as an outcome by investing billions of dollars into their IT applications and investment? So if you look at what the survey talks about is, despite all of these significant investment in the area of data and analytics, only 44% organizations say that they have enough data for making decisions, which is not really a good number. Only 29% of executives say that they are achieving transformational business outcomes using data, and 23% of executives see that poor data literacy is an important roadblock for achieving the business outcomes that they have. So these numbers do not really talk about a very good story about how businesses or organizations are achieving the outcomes of their investments, right? But I would also like to talk about the similar survey that we did with best-in-class organizations, what they are saying, what outcome they are achieving with their investment in data and analytics. So if you look at 76% of them are saying that they've achieved the operational efficiency, they've improved the operational efficiency. Similar numbers, 75% of them are saying that their revenue has increased, and almost similar numbers, 74% says that their profit has increased. So if you look at, there is a wide difference in the overall business outcomes that the organizations are achieving versus what best-in-class are saying, right? It's really a wide difference. So why this gap in terms of the overall investment, the overall organizations versus the best-in-class organizations? So when we try to find out what are the reasons behind this gap of the outcomes that these organizations are achieving, one of the things that we found out is typically if you look at the data integration and data analytics or business intelligence, they are considered two separate domains within the organization, right? Data integration being led by IT and business intelligence or data analytics led by the business teams. So this is, most of the organizations have this kind of a compartmentalized approach leading into some gaps in terms of how the data is being utilized into the organizations. Having said this, all the IT organizations are making their best effort to ensure that all the data is available for business to take the decisions or to analyze. But despite having these efforts, businesses are still finding out that there are maybe some blind spots, or they still don't have access to the data to the decisions, or at least that data is not available to them to analyze and to make the decisions there. And this gap, this compartmentalization of the data integration separately and business intelligence separately is actually leading to what typically we call it as the passive BI, leading into delays in terms of business having the data ready for taking their decisions. In a lot of cases, they might get the data at a time when it might be irrelevant in terms of the decision that they wanted to take at that point in time. Right? So there is very less conversion in the traditional world between the data integration and business intelligence tool. Most of the data integration projects that we have interacted with a lot of customers, and what we found out that most of the data integration projects start by thinking about how do we really integrate that data at one place. You might have n number of sources within the organization, structured, unstructured, on cloud, on-premise, private cloud, public cloud. Every organization has that data sources. So all these data integration projects typically start by focusing on how do we really integrate that data at one common place, without really thinking about what could be the business outcomes about it. And maybe in these endeavors, they think that the business outcome would be achieved at some point in time later, and the focus is more on just getting the data at one place, right? And this also is one of the challenge why business users find a blind spot into the data which is available to them, and that in some cases may lead to friction, while even there are the IT is also trying to give their best to make that data available. And this is where Qlik is trying to come in and change that approach of that compartmentalizing these data integration and business intelligence tool, trying to make that data easily available to the business users in an agile manner so that the business users could take the appropriate decisions. And we are also trying to modernize the journeys from both from the data integration perspective and the data analytics perspective. So I'll cover that in a few moments in terms of how we are helping organizations in their modernization journey. So how are we trying to really close that gap? By bringing these two things together. And there are 4 pillars, as we call it as, to bring these two things together. The 4 pillars of what we call it as our active intelligence platform. First, obviously, to integrate that data, free the data from the silos, bring that data in real time so that these data is easily available for the business users. One of the important things which was missing is managing that data, creating a governed layer so that all the downstream consumers, including your business users, can access that data in much governed way, handling that governance, lineage, impact analysis sort of requirement, so that business users can have trust into the data that they are accessing before taking those decisions. Once that data is available in a managed way, how do you analyze that data, covering the entire spectrum of descriptive, diagnostic, predictive, and prescriptive analysis of it? One of the important things which was missing in a traditional BI world is how do you really take the action on top of the insights or that data that you have got. Traditionally, what used to happen is that actionable part was outside of your BI application, right? So people used to probably take some screenshots or take some dump and have those actionables, set it on an email or your messaging platform, and then that loop was not closed in terms of what was the action that was, what was the cause of the problem, what was the action that was decided, who took that action, and how do we really track it that we are correcting the problem that we have found during the insight. And that's where Qlik is coming in and changing by allowing or enabling business users to take the action right from within the BI platform. They could actually trigger data-driven workflows right from within Qlik itself. I'll talk about a couple of examples how we are trying to do that. But essentially what we are trying to do is, we are trying to combine these two different domains into a single domain by modernizing, simplifying the things of integrating that data, giving the ability to manage that data, analyze, and more importantly, take the action on top of the insights that you've derived while you are analyzing that data. That's how Qlik platform is closing that gap. And what are we doing by doing this? So you would have all seen the maturity model of analytics, right? So obviously it was, we earlier talked about descriptive, diagnostic, predictive, and prescriptive. But what I wanted to talk about is, it all started few decades back by having the operational reporting, right, which was highly centralized model of reporting or BI back those days. So Qlik also took lead in making it more like decentralized model of analytics. More importantly, with our QlikSense as a platform, a democratized way of making the analytics within the organizations. And now we are leading with our active intelligence platform in terms of how we can make that data available in real time to the business users and trigger the action right from within the BI platform itself. And that's the major difference, I would say, which against some of the traditional BI approach that a lot of organizations might be taking. And how are we doing that? I'll just elaborate a little bit in terms of the active intelligence platform that I introduced you just a minute back or to it, with these 4 pillars of integrating, managing, analyzing, and acting on top of that data. So Qlik has the capability to free the data from the silos, and that data sets could be data lying into your transactional systems, that data could be on-premise, that data could be in your private cloud, in your public cloud. You could even have data coming in from your legacy systems like, say, mainframes or SAP. Free that data, automate the data pipelines for your data warehouse and data lakes when you are on the journey of modernizing the journey. So Qlik's data integration platform also helps you move the data in real time when you are also moving onto your cloud journey, or if you are also transforming your data warehouse or data lake journey. That's the integrate part of it. Qlik also helps you manage that data through catalog kind of a solution, and that's where having the metadata layer, having the catalog of the data in a governed manner is important. It also enables the lineage capability and impact analysis capability, so that you as an administrator, you as a developer, or you as a business users can track where the data is coming from, what different processing it has gone through for me as a business user to take those decisions, so that they put trust into the data that they are using to take the decisions. Obviously, from the once that data is available in a governed way, we have the capability to analyze that data, covering the entire spectrum of operational reporting, dashboarding, embedded capabilities, and we're building in a lot of modern capabilities of conversational analytics around it, real-time alerting capabilities around it, so that users can take advantage of these modern augmented capabilities while taking those decisions. So dashboards are not the only thing, but we do all these other things which makes the life of business users much more easier. But more importantly, what we are putting into the actionable part into it by having the real-time collaboration between the users, and also having what we call it as the application automation component, where, for example, if you are a sales manager, you are reviewing your sales pipeline, and if you see that some of the things that my sales owner is not doing, you could right from Qlik itself trigger a task into your CRM, so that the task is created for the opportunity owner and he can take the action, and you could track it back as a feedback loop into Qlik itself. So we are bringing in this actionable part which was missing in generally traditional BI world, and that forms the active intelligence platform that we have, right from your raw data to making it analytics and business ready to take the actionable insights on top of the data which is available. And we've been helping a lot of our existing customers as well as some of the new organizations in terms of modernizing their data integration as well as the analytics journey. So 2 or 3 important things. We are making that data available in real time, which was missing in quite a few decision-making systems, and more importantly, taking actions on top of that data and enabling it through our augmented and artificial intelligence capabilities over there. One thing that I would like to specifically call out is in these worlds, we also want to implement a lot of machine learning capabilities to take these decisions, right? And that's where Qlik has also built what we call it as the AutoML capability. And I wanted to talk a little bit about the AutoML capability. And Qlik understands that a lot of organizations goes through a maturity curve before implementing these machine learning or AI capabilities as well, right? So some users might simply need the augmented capabilities where they could easily generate insights on top of their data. So Qlik basically enables those business decisions as well. At the other extreme, you would also have your data science team who works on building some complex models to take certain decisions, right? So Qlik also has the ability to seamlessly integrate with these advanced data science models or machine learning models built into say R or Python or any other solution that we have built. But if you look at this extreme spectrum of this data science, they might possibly address say 5 to 10% of the problems that business users might have, right? So what about the other 90% use cases where users might want to have machine learning models built in? And that's where Qlik's AutoML capability comes into picture, where we are trying to democratize machine learning to the citizen data scientists within the organization. So AutoML is more like a low-code, no-code platform for citizen data scientists, where they could use this to build their models, to experiment with the models, and use them to take those decisions using Qlik's AutoML capability. So that's one thing that I wanted to highlight, which completes our predictive and prescriptive side of the things as well. So one of the a couple of things that this Qlik AutoML capability helps you do is obviously not only automate this model creation for your predictive analysis, but more importantly, why these predictions are coming in, right? So the key driver analysis, so that it explains why this model is saying about this particular outcome, so that you could take appropriate action to prevent those things if they are going in a negative way. So that's the important ability of having the key driver analysis, doing the scenario analysis, and take appropriate actions based on the predictions that the model has given to you. That's the AutoML capability that Qlik has, where we are trying to democratize these machine learning models to the citizen data scientists within the organizations. And as I said, obviously you could integrate with the third-party applications as well if you have built those models in those applications. And this is just a list of some of those other 90% use cases that I talked about, which probably may not come under the gamut of data scientists. Some of them may come under the gamut of data scientists, but business users themselves might want to build some models around these business problems and get the answers for themselves. And the answer to that is the Qlik AutoML solution that we have. So just to conclude, what I wanted to say is the platform that we have from Qlik active intelligence perspective is not something like you see in the first place, where if you want to go from say point A to point B, you have to really wait till your car is built, right? It's an iterative model in Qlik, an agile model in Qlik like you see here. You start with small, and each and every step you keep adding value, so that business users keep getting value at each and every step of your analytics journey. And this is how we are different from a traditional way of doing the analytics over here. With that, I would like to refer back to my first slide, where I started by talking about that data can change the world. We have seen multiple examples of data being used to change the world. But I want to end my session by leaving this thought that data is only as valuable as your ability to act on it, right? And that's what it makes that data more valuable. And we at Qlik, with our active intelligence platform, helps you bring the value out of that data. So with that, I'll stop here.